A very good evening and a warm welcome to our second edition of UBC News Tonight on this 20th day of March 2025. I'm Lauryn Masika Kazimoto and we do welcome you to this evening's news bulletin. And we start off with our first headlining story this evening. President Museveni has cautioned local leaders across the entire country to desist from engaging themselves in politics of identity, advocating for unity. Museveni has been addressing leaders from Bunyoro sub-region who convened at Uganda Petroleum Institute in Chiriandongo district.
A short prayer led by the local religious leaders from Bunyoro sub-region kicked off the wealth creation meeting summoned by the President of Uganda, Museveni.
For being here so that we listen from our great leader, our parent, our leader, Museveni, the President of Uganda.
Convened at Uganda Petroleum Institute in Kyotera district, the meeting has attracted participants from across the entire Bunyoro sub-region.
We thank you for the establishment of the Kabalega International Airport that is nearing completion and the development in the oil and gas sector.
To receive the President in Kyotera was the Prime Minister of Uganda, Lauryn Masika, NRM Secretary General Richard Odom, ministers among others.
This is why we were excited when the Member of Parliament was reading your memorandum. The religious leaders always remind us that when you're in the church and you're before God, you ask God everything you want. And we are seeing you asking the President everything. And that is a demonstration of the love and trust that you have in his leadership and in NRM government.
General has read to you how Bunyoro performed in the last elections. There is now a remarkable difference between how Bunyoro was then and how Bunyoro.
Mr. President, we should feel proud to be NRM members under the wise leadership of you, Mr. President.
During her presentation, Prime Minister Lauryn Masika took time to take the President and leaders through the works of government of the NRM in Bunyoro sub-region.
Uganda is now connected on Tamaka roads, Mr. President, and we want to thank you. And this is from north to south, east to west.
Addressing the conference, President Museveni echoed the need to move together as a country regardless of our diversity.
There is a reason as to why we have peace in Uganda. The first one is ideology, how we think and how we perceive things.
Abo abakugendera hansa y'omuntu n'enkiriza ye bakabiteeka mu by'oburemi bari mu nsobi oteeka obutwa mu bantu.
You are inserting poison in people.
Nicyo kikutabula ensi zino.
That is what destabilizes this world.
These ensi zino,
the countries surrounding us, the countries with instability. That's the reason.
And
that was the biggest problem Uganda faced before any other came to power.
Regarding calls from leaders to upgrade lower-level medical centers to health center floors and hospitals, the President guides that these are not necessary.
The real health is the one of Health Center 3, Health Center 4. By the time you go to hospital, health has already broken down.
President Museveni reiterates that the government of Uganda is very much committed to the development of Bunyoro and the country at large.
And the children are studying free. But if you talk about university, but you don't talk about the primary schools.
When murabaza university mutakubaza amasomero ga primary
and the secondary schools per sub-county. you may actually not help the country.
The president will the following day wrap up Bunyoro sub-region tour by addressing a public gathering in Kagadi district. Robert Nyango, UBC News.
Parliament has approved a loan request to finance the compensation of Umeme Limited for the unrecovered investments. The funds, to the tune of a little over $190 million, will be secured from Stanbic Bank. But the move to approve the loan came after a heated debate, as MPs had requested that the process is halted until the Auditor General finalizes with the audit query on the matter.
It was an unusual practice where Parliament overturns a majority report from the sector committee to act accordingly.
I beg to oppose.
The Parliamentary Committee on National Economy, backed by a section of the MPs, presented a suggestion that the loan request for the Umeme buyout be halted until the Auditor General completes valuation.
And considering the period remaining to come to the end of the lease and assignment agreement, the Auditor General expeditiously reconciles with ERA, UEDCL, and the Auditor General to determine the Umeme payout cost and submit it to Parliament to guide the approval of the loan request.
Handle in a proper way. Can we respect our rules, and then they will guide us at the exact amount when it is due, well audited, then we proceed. Right, Honourable Speaker, I'll rise to support, but let us really be fair to ourselves and the country.
I'm hard-pressed to believe the Minister of Finance here when he commits to us that you give me the 190. If I discover I'm meant to give them less, I'll only give them that part. Because, and examples have been given, this minister has promised us here are not fulfilled.
But the Minister of State for Finance in charge of general duties, Henry Museveni, quickly objected the report of the committee, citing time constraint.
We need not less than a week to manage the next steps.
Okay, just to, yes, if we fail to pay by the 31st, it will be 10% for the first 30 to 45 days, 15% 46 to 90 days, and 20% after 91 days.
We have very few days on which to make a decision. There is interest that is going to accrue that the taxpayers of Uganda will pay on account of Parliament delaying a decision. Are we going to carry that burden that we will incur the 10%, the 20%?
The funding is intended to finance the compensation of Umeme Limited for the unrecovered capital investments in accordance with the lease and assignment agreement. This is in response of a guidance by the head of state to the Minister of Finance to ensure that the required funds for the buyout of Umeme Limited are sourced by the time the concession agreement expires.
This Parliament provided an investigation which took 2 years, and this Parliament condemned those who signed that agreement. And this very buyout was a recommendation of Parliament.
Last week, Parliament passed a supplementary budget to the cause, which now awaits source of financing. This is the spirit that a loan request of $190,988,566, equivalent to Uganda shillings 725.7 billion, is secured from Stanbic Bank. Approving the loan request called for back-to-back questions on who could have compromised the process, which has turned out to be on a gunpoint.
Because there are people we charge with responsibility, they should have done that work for us incrementally until now we would have known these are the figures. Why that information is important is...
And you find, Minister, it may not be only you, it can also be all of us, even in Parliament, Auditor General, everybody. It is not one single person sleeping on the job.
We should direct it to the correct people. And we can fold it up. We can really fold it up, who did what, who sat on what. And we can take any decision to have those people account.
because the terms of the agreement, which Honorable Anguzuli says he read, told us exactly at what point Umeme was, there is a process to be followed in the buyout. So you couldn't come any earlier.
The MPs were caught off guard by a motion by MP Ismail Isaac of Padiere County to disregard the report of the committee and proceed with the minister's position. This was also backed by the Attorney General, Chio Wachiwanuka.
So that we process the loan and we pass it. A motion to borrow up to euro equivalent of US dollars 190,988,566 from Stanbic Bank for the Umeme Limited buyout.
Seconded. The seconders will still be there. With the amendments, those in favor say on the contrary, nay. The ayes have it.
The manner of the loan approval was deemed strange by some MPs who cited that the deliberations were in anticipation since the Auditor General's valuation report is still in waiting.
To support the deployment of the Uganda People's Defence.
Now, Parliament has supported government on the move to deploy troops in South Sudan. The Minister of State for Defence and Veteran Affairs, Jacob Oboth finally informed the House of the motives despite denying last week. The House, chaired by Speaker Anita Annette Among, agreed to support the peacekeeping mission designed to prevent escalating conflicts out of the tensions in South Sudan. Minister Oboth told Parliament that the request was made by President Salva Kiir.
Fighting started at the Ethiopian border of South Sudan in Nasiri. His Excellency Salva Kiir, the President of the Republic of South Sudan, made a formal request seeking for urgent support of our forces following that conflict. Consequently, His Excellency President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, the President of the Republic of Uganda, deployed, and the Commander-in-Chief deployed the Uganda People's Defense Forces for a peace enforcement mission. Right Honorable Speaker, the President's decision was based on the mandate given to him by the Constitution of the Republic of Uganda, 1995, and the Uganda People's Defense Forces Act, as quoted in the motion. Right Honorable Speaker and honorable members, the President's decision to deploy UPDF, Uganda People's Defense Forces, to South Sudan was also based on Uganda's commitment to patriotism, nationalism, and Pan-Africanism. Uganda also has a long-standing role in safeguarding the lives and property of Ugandans and Africans at large through strategic military interventions in various countries across the continent of Africa. Right Honorable Speaker, the deployment of the UPDF in South Sudan was also done in a spirit of brotherhood, solidarity, security of Uganda, and the economy, as well as the shared historical and regional ties between Uganda and South Sudan. Right Honorable Speaker and honorable members of this House, I therefore request this August House to support this motion.
The motion today by government was supposed to explain, they are talking about the status of forces agreement. Where is that agreement? So Parliament has passed this motion by looking at what? Because if there is an agreement, Parliament has a right to look at it.
Of the issue of security, issue of diplomacy, issue of our relationship, I now want to put a question that the motion for a resolution of Parliament to support the deployment of the Uganda People's Defense Forces in the Republic of South Sudan under the Memorandum of Understanding on Defense Cooperation and status of forces agreement executed between the Republic of Uganda and the Republic of South Sudan be adopted by this House. Those in favor say the ayes have it. House adjourned sundown.
UBC News Tonight. Now the Speaker of Parliament, Anita Among, has attributed the delay to swear in the newly elected Member of Parliament for Kawempe North, Elias Luyimbazi Nalukola, to the Electoral Commission. The Speaker says the Electoral Commission has not gazetted Nalukola as a member of the National Unity Platform for Parliament to swear him. Now some MPs, including Semoju Nganda of Chira Municipality, questioned the delay, citing that some MPs are treated otherwise.
The Kira Municipality Member of Parliament, Ibrahim Semujunganda, questioned why the House has not considered to swear in the newly elected Kawempe North MP, Elias Nalukola Luyimbazi.
Madam Speaker, as the head of this institution, can you get us to know when the Honorable Nalukola will be sworn in? The Honorable Mawanda was sworn in 24 hours. He was here.
Honorable members, I wait for a gazette. When I get a gazette, that's when I swear in the member. So I'm waiting for a gazette. I need to hear from Electoral Commission before I do a gazette.
We are actually dismayed that up to now the Electoral Commission has not gazetted the person that won the Kawempe North by-election. We did follow up with the Electoral Commission, and they told us that they're still sorting out internal issues. We don't know what that means, because in the past, as we are saying, it's been done in record time, because the Electoral Commission is now funked as official.
We are increasingly getting dismayed by the conduct of the Electoral Commission in the affairs of Kawempe North by-elections. And we are disturbed that up to now, the results were declared. What is stopping the Electoral Commission from succeeding and doing its job? Then whoever is aggrieved, there is the legal redress in this country.
The House resumed business after a long recess, with hopes that the usual practice of swearing in a new MP would take precedence. Semju's concern is derived from allegations of frustrating Nalukola's win after some players contested the results.
One Luyimbazi Nalukola was assaulted, our supporters were brutalized, several leaders were brutalized, including on election day. In fact, Honorable Speaker, some of your members here were badly brutalized, still nursing injuries. Journalists were not spared either. They were badly beaten, others were abducted. Can we know who commandeered this? Who commandeered the brutalizing of leaders, citizens, a candidate in a race?
To bring a motion, Madam Speaker, inviting this Parliament to condemn first the brutality against the media. They go to members to go, because the Parliamentary Elections Act doesn't allow even to carry a gun, a simple gun at a polling station.
The Minister of State for Trade, David Bahati, responded to the queries, informing the House on the guidance of the head of state on the said matters. This caused back-to-back reactions.
On the issues that he has raised, His Excellency the President issued a statement regarding the situation in Kawempe, and I'm not adding a word to that.
To hide behind the President's statement as if the President has taken over the Constitution. It shouldn't have stopped the Electoral Commission from exercising its constitutional mandate by declaring and indeed gazetting a successful candidate.
Statement here, so that as Parliament we know, we were raising these issues here in Parliament. It's important that the country gets to know what was said, what action is being taken. Please don't refer us to social media, to I don't know where. We are here as colleagues. Please lay on.
I'm Nafka Farid and Gloria Gwetabinji at Parliament.
Now, still with Parliament, the Speaker has stressed the need for accountability committees in Africa to exercise more responsibility and transparency in institutions in order to gain value for money. The Speaker met with Eswatini's Deputy Speaker, Madala Mlanga, who is in the country on a 5-day conference of African Organization of Public Accounts Committees.
The Speaker of Parliament, Anita Among, has held talks with the Deputy Speaker of Eswatini, Madala Umlanga, who is in the country on a 5-day conference of the African Organization of Public Accounts Committees. Anita Among urged the officials to continue exercising accountability for taxpayers' money in their respective institutions.
And as we discussed in the conference, that African problems can only be solved by us African. And as we say, the illicit financial flows should be handled, and we get the generally accepted reporting procedures for the whole of Africa, so that you will have uniformity in the reporting process for accountability committees. And we want to thank you so much for accepting to come to Uganda. I want to thank you so much and for strengthening AfroPac. Accountability and transparency is very important.
The Speaker encouraged the officials to strengthen relationships among different kingdoms.
So we can come back and visit the young kings around. We have a young king in
Busoga, yes.
Soro, a number of them.
The officials informed the Speaker on how Eswatini is looking forward to increasing the development agenda with Uganda.
Our king came to Uganda, so even the monarchs, because you still got your kings in Uganda, they do come to Eswatini. We still all united towards our tradition, and the king is our unifying factor in Eswatini. So we've got ceremonies like your reed dance, your Marura ceremony, your Bugano ceremony. So the Speaker, Honorable Jablan Mabuza, he sent me that message in one of those activities. Please do come to Eswatini.
Lydia Chomkama and Gloria Gitabinji, Parliament.
President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni has promised to allocate funds for circles formed by graduates from scaling industrial hubs set across the country. The president made the pledge today as he was commissioning the Bunyoro Zonal Industrial Hub in Masindi district.
Following the rampant school dropouts, the president decided to set up skilling centers across the country in all regions of Uganda to train the youth with practical skills that are employable in the current job market. One such a center is the Bunyoro Zonal Industrial Hub located in Masindi district that has since produced graduates.
Kakangira mukyomusanju era nk'omuntu ondi bagambo gwatasometa ina makuru kyokka bwire bunu kuluganya izire hanu nkasoma nyaturuka era nkaba wa third intake na graduation yaitu mama waitu nabanja akaija akabaho nkasoma welding and metal fabrication nkatera tochi omuliro gwabambuka gabambuka yagamba mali project ekyokozero kikenga saha zinu bosi wango go unkolera akamfunira contract duhaga secondary school nkoro budeka ngena nakitugumu ninkoro front seat. His Excellency nkabanzaire bana bange basatu nkatandika kuzaara n'emyaka 22 bwire bunu nyina abana bana kyonko bunyaisira anu nyafuna skill.
After informing the president after their success and after attaining skills at Bunyoro Zonal Industrial Hub, the Prime Minister informed the president. How these youth are unable to progress because they do not have capital to start their personal businesses.
Abukuba bakangamba tibaina engeri bakusobora kwetandika. Muzaibo twabaliza asongenu wangamba ogenda kuragira cabinet.
The president offered 10 million shillings each.
Bari abana abarugire buri omunja kumha miliyoni 10.
The president also promised to allocate funds to the circles formed by the graduates from these skilling industrial hubs set up across the country.
Echa sako aha districts zatandikire ntu yakuta musente Bareke, when are we planning to put money in the district circles?
Your Excellency, you had planned next financial year.
Fine, that's good. Hata mwaka urukwija circles zowanyu mu district zowanyu abana bona barugire hano ntujja kubatera mu sente.
The President has also directed that more practical courses be added to train the youth in the industrial skilling hubs.
Mbona ati ntujja kongera mu ndishu myuga nija kubaragira nibongera mu nka motor mechanics. Nibongera mu plumbing y'imwana mugamba. Nibongera mu electrical. Ntujja kubyongera mu.
The Prime Minister used the occasion to make a proposal to the President to offer himself for the 2026 as a presidential candidate.
Hati abanya-Uganda bwe kuba ne batulolerera Uganda eri take off stage nikyo kyokuba nk'omukazi ali omwizaaliro ali omumayingi okusobola kuteekawo n'aseidi okusobola kuteekawo n'asinga aid niwaza alisa omukyala can't win a president waitu ali experienced akwika level nkukusaba kiro kino tuli hano industrial hub oyikirize oyesimbe 2026.
Nienda kusema Prime Minister Nabanja okuleta ekiteeso kyokwesimbaho 26. Ekyo ntuza nimusima ntuza kukiteesaho omusek na nek numanye bitu okutubikora ntuza kubikora ebyo ate kyakabiri.
The function was also attended by the First Lady, who is also the Minister for Education, Janet Kataha Museveni.
And remember that there is a purpose for anything under heaven. Human capital development is vital in our quest to evolve from a peasant to a modern and prosperous country. Therefore, the skilling of our young population remains a top priority.
Mr. President, skilling Ugandans is a key component of our national development agenda to empower the youth, reduce unemployment, and drive the socio-economic growth. The NRM government, under your wise leadership, is focusing on initiatives like establishing industrial training institutions and innovation hubs like this one to help us achieve our development agenda. And for this, I want to thank you, Your Excellency.
Officials from the Ministry of Education and Sports have been bounced by the Parliamentary Public Accounts Committee on issues of facts about responding to the Auditor General report for financial year 2023-2024. The committee cites money laundering in some seed school projects which were partially implemented and close to 20 billion shillings was not accounted for. We have the details.
Officials from the Ministry of Education and Sports, led by Permanent Secretary Kedris Tuliagenda, have appeared before the Public Accounts Committee to respond to queries in the Auditor General's report for the financial year 2023-2024. The committee, chaired by its Deputy Chairperson, Goreth Namuga, revealed how the PS, Kedris Tuliagenda, could not respond to queries since she was new on the job.
PS is directly concerned on all these issues, dealing with other projects. If she's not here, this lady is in almost 3 months in office. She's not above 3 months, I think, or 4, 5 around there. So what is he answering to us?
I request you to reach out to the person who was in charge for us to come and appear.
The ministry had projects to be implemented, including the Uganda Secondary Education Expansion Project. However, one project, named the Phase 2 of the vocational project, was not fully implemented.
Each of these projects is a standalone. Each of these projects has a code of its own. A code of its own where it runs its funds. They cannot be a mix. Because what you are discovering, Chair, is that under this project, they were drawing Bank of Uganda, Government of Uganda funds.
This project had a donor funding of $14.3 million US. However, only 26 billion shillings was awarded. The committee later on discovered that the additional 20 billion was added to the 10 billion from the government of Uganda, which the ministry failed to account for.
It's the equivalent of the 10 billion as the counterpart funding or 30. Then how much? Because now, how much was available? You should be able to know. You are the one executing the project. You are talking of milestones that you're achieving, and those milestones relate to funding. Is almost 10, 20 billion have come through and outside the budget framework. The government of Uganda performed is far much higher than the donor.
The committee also noted how the implementation of this project was partially done in 4 districts out of the 8 across the country. This prematurely ended the meeting as the officials have been bounced by the committee. Lydia Chomkama and Gloria Gitabinji, Parliament.
UBC News Tonight takes a very short break and we return with more stories after these messages. Don't move an inch.
Come on, mo pocket, tambula about the street, issues are my target. We are what? Unstoppable. We are what? Unstoppable. I'm in a plantation, but on a global mission, internet ambition, full condition. We are what? Unstoppable. We are what? Unstoppable. All the cash is gone, netagayo karoni, nigga mukafoni, money in the zone. We are what? Unstoppable. We are what? Unstoppable. We are good.
With you and MTN together, our ambition is unstoppable.
We are what? Unstoppable!
A smile that is white, fresh and beautiful is a smile to be proud of. Discover new Colgate White and Fresh for the whole family with high quality and an incredible price.
Amazina ganje Nyetwa Seruhanga John Bosco Ninduga mu district ya Rukungiri byo muhanguzi wa $186 na Uganda National Rotary nzahangwire urwo mu kuzana star 278 hash ngafuna message eriko mu muhanguzi nashemererwa konka nabaza kugira ngo neri y'abafere sente ziriyo zone bakaziteka ngo nazihangwire.
Uganda National Lottery. Dream, play, win.
Participants must be 18 years or older. Play responsibly. The Uganda National Lottery is operated by Ituba Uganda and regulated by the National Lotteries and Gaming Regulatory Board.
Welcome back from that break, and we're glad that you're still with us here in UBC News Tonight. I'm Lauryn Masika Kazimoto. Now, in more news this evening, the Ministry of Energy and Mineral Development convened a stakeholders consultation workshop at Fairway Hotel in Kampala to deliberate on the draft Earth Scientists Registration Bill 2024. The bill aims to regulate professionals in the earth sciences field, ensuring proper registration and adherence to legal frameworks. Speaking at the event, Engineer Irene Batebe, the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Energy and Mineral Development, emphasized the importance of incorporating other disciplines such as technologists and technicians within the bill.
Honorable Christine Apollo, Woman MP for Kumi District, representing the Parliamentary Committee on Mineral Resources, urged the stakeholders to expedite the process of drafting regulations. However, she cautioned against the trend of drafting bills without proper implementation, a challenge that Uganda has faced in the past.
In this case, I refer this to the situation in Uganda, where in many cases it has been stated that Uganda is very good at making policies, very good at making laws, but when it comes to implementation, we don't perform well when it comes to the implementation of the acts of parliament. I therefore want to challenge the Ministry of Energy and Mineral Development to actually begin drafting regulations at this time when we are proposing developments in this bill.
Kasaka Elfefan, president of the Geological Society of Uganda, underscored that the bill would help regulate their professional work, enhancing credibility and standards in the industry.
Versus all the benefits of having this bill enacted, it will help regulate our sector as earth scientists to avoid shoddy work, but when no one is not accountable under any act, and it will provide an avenue for investors, both local and international.
Grace Tumusime, Undersecretary at the Ministry of Energy and Mineral Development, reiterated the need to include technologists and technicians while ensuring the bill aligns with existing laws.
Agreed in principle that we should not look at this bill in isolation. We should also be mindful of the legal framework for those who are existing already, so that we harmonize with the other boards that are already existing, or the acts of parliament that have created those boards, so that we do not have any kind of conflict.
Dr. Fred Tugume, a commissioner for the Geological Survey at the ministry, provided insights into the next steps following the consultative workshop, emphasizing the need for the continued engagement to refine the bill.
After getting this first draft, we shall send it to the Ministry of Justice and Constitutional Affairs, where they will refine it. And if it is, before I send it there, I'll have to first agree, present it to my top management meeting. If the top management finds it's agreeable, we shall, the ministry will send it to Ministry of Justice and Constitutional Affairs, where they will review it, and if they found it acceptable, they will give us a certificate.
Winnie Ainembabaz Katwiri and Jamil Sekaja for UBC.
Now, Uganda Airlines has announced the launch of direct scheduled flights between Entebbe International Airport and London Gatwick Airport effective May 18th, 2025. The 4 times weekly service operated by the airline's Airbus A330-800 Neo fleet restores a vital non-stop air corridor between Uganda and the United Kingdoms after a 9-year hiatus. Samuel Senono reports.
The Entebbe-London route, last served by British Airways until its withdrawal in 2015, has been a glaring gap in East Africa-Europe connectivity. Passengers previously faced circuitous routings via hubs such as Nairobi, Addis Ababa and Dubai. It is highly believed that the launch of this new route by Uganda Airlines will address this gap, offering 4 weekly non-stop flights.
Primarily, we've tried to put the schedule in such a way that it will have a very good feed from our network, because we are not just looking at the Entebbe to London service. We are looking at being able to bring people from Harare to London, which is actually a bigger unserved market in Africa. We are looking at bringing people from Lusaka, looking at see how we can tap into the vast numbers that they have in Nairobi, bringing people from Tanzania into Entebbe to be able to connect, also from Nigeria as well, and the remaining of our network.
Uganda Airlines Chief Executive Officer Jennifer Wamturaki described this new route as a game changer that will stimulate demand.
As befitting of a national carrier, we are currently the biggest operator out of Entebbe International Airport, with an average of 77 departures a week and just under 30% of the travel scheduled departures from and into Entebbe International Airport. This route will take our tally to 81 departures a week, combined with others coming soon.
The British High Commissioner to Uganda expressed excitement about this route, highlighting its potential to streamline cargo transport and boost trade volumes.
And this direct connection will undoubtedly enhance these figures, providing more opportunities for exports and a boost to both of our economies. And I think the direct flight opens other new avenues for investment. With easier investment, with easier access, we can attract more investors to Uganda, fostering economic growth, creating jobs.
Uganda Airlines currently operates a fleet of 7 aircraft, including 4 CRJ Mitsubishi regional jets, 2 Airbus A330-800 Neos, and a leased A320. The Minister of Works and Transport, General Katumba Wamala, revealed that government is exploring options to acquire more aircraft to support the airline's growing network.
So we are in discussions, and yes, very soon you may see some other new assets in Entebbe. But for now, we're encouraging Uganda Airlines to lease so that they can bridge the gap, because as you have heard, there are so many destinations now, and the only freight which we had may not be able to service all of them.
With the UK accounting for 12% of Uganda's international arrivals in 2023, this route is also expected to significantly boost tourism and business travel.
When offering direct link for tourists from UK, makes it more convenient for visitors from UK to come and enjoy the diverse attractions that nature has gifted Uganda. Now, this also puts another challenge on my lap, that I must make the roads as good as possible so that when the tourists land in Entebbe, they can drive as fast to go and see the beauty in the countryside.
This Entebbe-London Gatwick route marks Uganda Airlines' evolution from a startup carrier to a full-scale global player.
Now, nearly 1,000 refugees from the Democratic Republic of Congo have been relocated from the Nyakabande Transit Center in Kisoro to Nachivale settlement in Isingiro district. Now, this move was confirmed by Jimmy Ogwang, a United Nations High Commission for Refugees team leader at Nyakabande Transit Center, Kisoro district.
Nyakabande Transit Center in Kisoro district now hosts over 5,000 refugees, resulting in 2 severe overcrowding, inadequate sanitation and air pollution, which are negatively impacting both the refugees and the surrounding communities.
For the first 3 weeks, we have seen an increase in number of new arrivals coming from the Democratic Republic of Congo. And the highest number we have received during the week was on Tuesday, which was about 1,212 individuals for a single day.
Jimmy Ogwang highlighted that efforts are underway to relocate additional refugees as the center's resources are stretched to their limits.
The main reason for the refugees coming seeking asylum to Uganda is because of a lot of lawlessness right now in DRC, especially Eastern Congo. But more specific, the refugees are reporting a lot of abduction, a lot of looting, a lot of killing by different armed groups and militias, including actually rape of women.
This relocation is crucial for those fleeing the escalating violence in the DRC, where M23 rebels are engaged in a fight with Congolese government forces.
However, there is time when we normally get challenges by this overwhelming numbers of these refugees. When this number becomes big, The number, these refugees normally give us problems.
The chairperson of Nyakabande Sub-County Fan, Mfawera, praised the Kisoro community for its hospitality in welcoming the refugees despite the challenges. However, he acknowledged the ongoing issues with infrastructure, including the need for improvement to drainage and waste disposal systems. Some refugees have been involved in disruptive behavior, such as excessive alcohol consumption and fighting.
Some are thieves, others are drunkards, others do bad things. However, our communities normally stay with them in a good harmony and adjust.
Several refugees shared heart-wrenching accounts of their escape.
Armed groups and militias, including actually rape of women. We have also been told, especially refugees coming from the outskirts of Goma, that there have been a lot of breakdown in social services, like electricity not working very well, education not functioning well, social services like health is not functioning very well. So it has made their life very difficult, but more so, there are a lot of armed groups who come at night to loot, to kill and abduct people.
John Bizimana fled with his wife and 5 children, but has since lost contact.
UBC News tonight. Now, in more news this evening, the Deputy Inspector General of Government has issued strict directives in Kwania and Eleptong districts following reports of gross mismanagement of funds allocated for government projects. Now, Dr. Patricia Achan Okiria has warned that if the districts fail to comply, severe actions will be taken.
During a field visit yesterday, the Deputy IGG and her team demanded an inspection of projects tainted by corruption allegations. In Kwania district between 2018 and 2021, the district received 2 billion shillings for the construction of a Duku Seed School. However, investigations revealed that 172 million shillings was diverted to purchase a vehicle currently used by the district chairperson.
Right. We expect to receive communication from the chairperson latest this Friday, because these are issues that require urgent concern. They're issues that require urgent attention.
There's a law that talks about collective responsibility. The project was done when I was not here, but I took over. Now, when IGG ordered me to write within 2 days, those are signs that I am fully responsible as a district chairperson. But the law is also very clear that even our civil servant does work on behalf of council.
As long as you don't have Lakeside.
Additionally, 40 million shillings was misused to build an access road that was never part of the original project. Further inspections uncovered poor workmanship, including cracked floors, damaged ceilings and expired laboratory reagents, all under the watch of the district officials.
And we have pointed out our findings from our investigations, and we have had what they call the alternative dispute resolution, where we would like issues resolved according to our findings and recommendations.
In Eleptong district, the construction of a beer and an RL centers has installed despite contractors having received full payments.
3 years later, the work is not complete. The maternity ward is not in use. If it does not finish this work and hand over by the end of this month, March 2025, the IGG is going to waste him.
Patients in the area continue to suffer due to the delays. In an RL center, 3 services were forced to begin before the facility was officially commissioned. Each month, at least 40 to 50 mothers give birth here in a facility without running water, as the installed water system is non-functional. Health workers here are forced to fetch water from outside to use in the labor suit.
We are taking water from the borehole and put in the drum. We have the drum there.
The Eleptong district chairperson is urging the IGG to take action against rogue contractors who compromise government projects.
Terminating or blacklisting them, we want to see them being blacklisted so that others can learn from them.
District leaders also criticized the Ministry of Health for awarding multiple hybrid projects to a single contractor, resulting in inefficiencies and delays.
We're also appealing to the IGG the investigation should not stop at the district.
Public resources are supposed to be for the good of service delivery towards the people. Come on, wake up and report cases to the Inspectorate of Government so that we take action, and together we clean up our country.
Dr. Chan also reminded leaders to declare their assets and resources by the end of this month.
We started on the 1st March and it is ending on the 31st March.
As investigations continue, affected communities are hopeful for urgent interventions to improve service delivery. Eddie Ulwa, UBC News.
Thank you, Eddie Olwa. Now the situation in Chebe Sub-County, Kakuto County, Kyotera District is dire as residents decry the lack of schools, essential learning equipment and security for students. Holly of Nazareth Secondary School, the only public secondary school in the area, is struggling with inadequate staff and resources.
Holy of Nazareth Secondary School was founded by Catholics in 1993 and later converted into a public school in 2001. Today, it serves over 500 students, yet it faces significant challenges.
A proper fence, and that one is very challenging because, you know, as we are dealing with the young people, when they are growing up, they are volatile. Some of them escape out of school and go and misbehave in the community because we don't have proper school fence around the school.
Head teacher Lubega Edward emphasized that they are facing a serious shortage of teaching staff, lack of essential equipment, and even water supply issues. The situation is affecting both students and teachers.
The only secondary school in the whole sub-county of Chile. The school has several challenges. One of them is that the school buildings are in a sorry state and they need repair and renovation. The other challenge are the toilet facilities. The staff don't have toilet facilities at all. We share with the students. The girls don't have an incinerator where they burn their waste pads.
Despite these challenges, there is a glimmer of hope. Kaka Ismail Lubega Uthman, a candidate for the Kakuto constituency and an NRM representative, has stepped into support for the school.
Here we are discussing, we are starting something, a project which is going to uplift our talents, which is going to give us a bright future.
Kaka Ismail Lubega Uthman pledged to continue assisting the school and to advocate for their needs at higher offices.
I'll be there for you at least every month. I'll make sure that I visit you at least 3 times or 4 every month.
In addition to donating sports uniforms to Holy of Nazareth Secondary School, he extended his support to Kangabwa Muslim Primary School, where he provided mosque equipment, a sound system, and food packages for those observing Ramadan. Winnie Ainembabas Katwire and Jamil Sekaja for UBC.
Students in the Karamoja sub-region have called for increased efforts to educate the public about the dangers of environmental degradation and the importance of restoration. This was during an inter-secondary school youth debate tournament held at Moroto High School in Moroto District. The debate was part of the region's activities to commemorate World Water Day, highlighting the critical role of environmental conservation in sustainable water management.
Eventually go back to their communities where they come from and disseminate this information for the betterment of our environment and also for the sanitation and the hygiene. Actually, we are here for a competition in different areas. One is a debate and another one is public speaking.
It's very important to learners because it enables them to sell their ideas. Now we have topics about environment and we brought out controversial issues where each can form very strong opinions. And this, when they articulate their issues, they think about, okay, maybe I shouldn't destroy the environment. But what if I don't destroy it and I step forward? So there should be a middle ground, and this is what we are encouraging our students to do. To think about something, how can it benefit, how can we use the environment to benefit us, as well as keep it for the future generation. So
Alright, listen up. Politics is on a mission. It makes our gums happy and our teeth strong. See? We're moving forward and making changes.
It's kind of a big thing.
Colgate Herbal uses traditional nature's herbs and combines it with Colgate Science for healthy gums and strong teeth. And we'll leave no smile behind.
According to the Uganda Bureau of Statistics Census Report of 2016, in Uganda, 12.4% of the population, about 4.5 million, live with a disability. Limited access to ICT and assistive technologies increases digital disparities, prompting UCOSAF's aim to promote digital inclusiveness for persons with disabilities. The ICT for People with Disability program aims to improve the accessibility of education and technology for persons with disabilities and promote their full and effective participation in society. UCOSAF is implementing this program through the creation and maintenance of an online observatory for persons with disabilities intended to link persons with disabilities with service providers and different programs that empower them, and provision of adaptive tools that enhance their quality of life through ICTs and digital skilling.
Welcome back from the break, and now into the business scene. Uganda Registration Services Bureau has presented its latest reforms and innovations to the diplomatic community in a bid to position Uganda as a leading global investment destination. In an exclusive interview with UBC, Ambassador Francis Butagira, the chairman, URSB, emphasized the need for increased resources to support the government's commercial diplomacy efforts.
Uganda Registration Services Bureau plays a vital role in Uganda's business environment, facilitating private sector growth and improving Uganda's investment climate. To broaden its reach and attract more foreign direct investment, the agency recently hosted a business and innovation forum for commercial attaches in Uganda.
Diplomats who are created here, they are the channels through which we can communicate with their countries. So very often you hear various government officials saying we want investments in Uganda and so forth. Yes, but these are the people whom you can channel. Once they are informed, they automatically inform their capitals, and it makes it easier. So we thought we should meet these diplomats. Here,
at the forum, key government entities showcased URSB reforms and innovations, highlighting efforts to streamline business registration and improve service delivery. At a time when the Minister of Foreign Affairs is urging diplomats deployed overseas to actively market Uganda as an investment destination, calls for increased resources to support these initiatives were made.
These days now they say, okay, commercial diplomacy is at the center stage. The other activities are really ceremonial one. But if you want Uganda to succeed, we must sell our country. We must hold investment forums. All these things need some money. And I think commercial diplomacy should not be just giving lip service. Okay. They should do something about it in a concrete way.
Ambassador Butagira emphasized URSB's public service role, noting that the information it manages is essential to both businesses and individuals across the country. The agency continues to serve as a cornerstone of Uganda's business registration and intellectual property infrastructure.
Whereas, for instance, it used to take almost weeks to register a company. or even a month.
Yeah, I recall those days.
You come here, nothing moving. But do you know now we can do it in 3 hours or less to register company. These other documents in 1 hour, all legal documents. Which means, therefore, that if I'm a very good or careful investor, I will go to this country where it takes me short time to register my company. And Uganda now is one of them. I think we are now the best.
The latest engagement with commercial attaches underscores URSB's commitment to improving Uganda's business environment and attracting more investors to the country. Dennis Igoa for UBC.
Uganda Development Bank has launched Reshaping Industries for a Sustainable Economic Rise program to financially empower local innovators in different fields and also to transform the way the bank deploys its resources within the economy. Dr. Monica Musenero, the Minister of Science, Technology and Innovation, officiated the launch and applauded UDB for RISE initiative that will support Uganda's 4th National Development Plan's theme of sustainable industrialization, employment and sustainable wealth creation.
Reshaping Industries for a Sustainable Economy RISE program will focus on financing local talents for local development.
So these will be businesses at any level. They can be startups, or most of them will actually be startups, innovations or innovators, technopreneurs across all sectors. And when we have reviewed the solutions that they are offering, I think our clients will really be mainly solution providers. So when we have reviewed them, we will then be able to support them through the programs that we have in the bank.
Dr. Musenero urged the banking sector to mainstream science, technology and innovation in order to create positive impact on society, economy and the environment.
Ugandans are very, very innovative. And to give you an example, when we called for applications for the Innovation Fund just last October, we received, within a period of 10 days, we received 1,045 applications. However, on all those, because of the funding we have is very small, and that funding has to fund these who are still at idea point, it has to fund those who need to build an industry, so you can only fund a handful.
The beneficiaries of this program will be the technology innovators, engineers, agri-tech companies, energy tech providers, financial institutions, among others.
So SMEs you talk about, many of them are perhaps in informal sector, many are perhaps in formal sector, but RISE is perhaps one of the first steps towards formalizing the informal economy also. So those SMEs could benefit from two angles. Number one, of course, if they have an innovative product or they could innovate whatever they are doing, they require funding for it, especially when they are trying to introduce technology into whatever they are doing.
Winnie Ainembabazi Katwire and Kalisha Stephen for UBC.
And now into the world of sports. The inaugural Uganda Olympic Committee Awards ceremony was a historic event held last night at the Sheraton Hotel. This prestigious ceremony recognized and honored the outstanding achievements of the best male and female athletes from every sports discipline in Uganda over the past year. Take a look.
19th, 2025 will be etched in Ugandan sports history as the first ever Uganda Olympic Committee Awards Night. The prestigious event, held at the Sheraton Hotel in Kampala, celebrated the exceptional achievements of Ugandan athletes over the past 12 months. The momentous occasion honored the hard work and dedication of athletes from 33 sports federations in Uganda, paving the way for the future generations of Ugandan sports heroes.
2024 Olympics, we had a number of activities with our commissions.
We supported our federations. We believe 2024, yagenze bulungi, and we look forward to a better 2025.
Some of the notable winners included 2024 Paris Olympic Games medalists Joshua Cheptegei and Peruth Chemtai, who were awarded the overall male and female athletes of the year, respectively. The Uganda rugby men's team and the Uganda netball women's team were also recognized as the best teams of the year, while Uganda athletics received the best federation prize.
Last year, apart from the Olympic Games, we won 33 international medals for the country. And our athletes set 14 new national records. And they were set by 17 athletes. And when you look at world records, 2 of our athletes set world records last year. And one of them set an Olympic record. So when you talk about this, you really see that Athletics Federation deserved this award. And I want to thank the Uganda Olympic Committee for recognizing us as the best performing federation.
Other winners expressed their gratitude towards the awards.
I'd love to thank EOC for organizing such awards because as a player, you will always need something small to motivate you. And for me personally, this has motivated me to go back and work hard and win more tournaments in future.
This is a very good award. First of all, I want to thank the Almighty God for this privilege. And also, I would like to dedicate this award to my family and my UBC fraternity. Well, basically, this award means a lot to the modern pentathlon because it is a sport of 5 disciplines that is uprising in Uganda. And special recognition to my other colleague, Rashida Najuma and Arnold Chisulo, who have helped us to propel this sport to become what it is in Uganda. So it's really good that this sport can be recognized and be able to push on for the future.
2 and 1.
Marion Awori and Marshall Miro for UBC.
A congratulations to all the athletes and most congratulations to our very own UBC's Marshall Miro. He has definitely showcased that he has other talents apart from being a sports journalist. Well, UBC News Tonight has come to an end. Thank you so much for your company this evening. Now, on behalf of the team working tirelessly behind the scenes and myself, we do wish you a good night.
UBC, inspiring Uganda.